Friar Laurence occupies a central but often understated position in Romeo and Juliet. As a trusted spiritual advisor, herbalist, and confidant to both Romeo and Juliet, he plays a crucial role in shaping the events that lead to the play's tragic conclusion. Often interpreted as a well-meaning but flawed figure, the friar embodies the tension between wisdom and misjudgment, guidance and interference, good intentions and disastrous outcomes. Role in the narrative. Friar Laurence first appears in Act 2, and his introduction immediately establishes him as a thoughtful, observant figure who contemplates the balance of good and evil in nature. His early reflections foreshadow his dual role as both healer and inadvertent agent of tragedy. Romeo seeks out the friar to confess his newfound love for Juliet and to ask for help in securing a secret marriage. Although shocked at Romeo's sudden shift in affections, from Rosalind to Juliet within 24 hours, the friar ultimately agrees to marry them, believing that this union may turn your household's rancor to pure love. This single decision propels the plot forward and lays the foundation for the tragic events that follow. As the narrative unfolds, Friar Laurence becomes deeply entangled in the lover's secret world. He serves as a bridge between Romeo and Juliet, communicating messages, offering advice, and providing solutions when the couple faces obstacles. After Tybalt's death and Romeo's banishment, it is the friar who offers Romeo refuge and devises a plan to reunite them. His role intensifies in Act 4 when Juliet, desperate to avoid marriage to Paris, turns to him for help. The friar's response, the sleeping potion plan, is both daring and dangerous. While intended as a pathway to hope, the plan ultimately collapses under the weight of miscommunication and circumstance. His failure to ensure that Romeo receives his message becomes one of the pivotal catalysts for the final tragedy. In the climactic final scene, Friar Laurence arrives too late to prevent Romeo's suicide. When Juliet awakens, he implores her to flee the tomb, but she refuses. The friar's decision to abandon her in fear underscores one of his central flaws. Despite his spiritual authority, he is not immune to human weakness. His departure leaves Juliet alone, resulting in her death moments later. Throughout the narrative, Friar Laurence's choices, rooted in good intentions, carry consequences far beyond his expectations, positioning him as a tragic facilitator of events rather than a passive observer. Symbolic significance. From his first appearance, the friar meditates on the idea that virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied. This philosophy encapsulates his symbolic function in the play. He represents the dual nature of actions, intentions, and even natural forces. As an herbalist, he understands that plants can both heal and harm, an idea mirrored in his own role. His advice, potions, and plans are designed to heal the feud and help the lovers, but they ultimately contribute to destruction. Friar Laurence symbolizes the moral ambiguity of human choices and the unpredictable outcomes that arise from them. As a religious figure, Friar Laurence embodies the moral and spiritual ideals that guide social order. His involvement in the marriage of Romeo and Juliet places him at the heart of the conflict between personal passion and societal expectation. Symbolically, the friar stands as a representative of the church in a secular world filled with violence. However, his inability to control events, despite his religious position, reflects Shakespeare's skepticism about the efficacy of human institutions in the face of fate. Friar Laurence also symbolizes the hope for reconciliation. His willingness to help Romeo and Juliet stems from his belief that their love could resolve the feud between the Montagues and Capulets. He represents the desire for unity and peace in a world divided. Yet his failure serves as a symbolic reminder of how deeply entrenched conflicts resist simple solutions. Broader implications. Friar Laurence is one of the play's most educated and thoughtful characters, yet his wisdom is far from infallible. Shakespeare uses him to illustrate the limits of human knowledge and the dangers posed when individuals attempt to control complex systems, such as a violent feud, through secrecy or manipulation. The friar's belief in his own ability to manage events contributes directly to the tragedy. His detailed plan for Juliet's escape, while ingenious, hinges on too many variables. His failure to anticipate problems or provide fail-safe measures highlights the broader theme that human wisdom, no matter how well-intentioned, remains limited. The friar's interventions are motivated by compassion, but they are also acts of interference in the personal lives of others. His involvement illustrates the ethical complexities that arise when authority figures attempt to fix or orchestrate outcomes for others. His desire to end the feud is noble, but he overlooks the agency and possible consequences for Romeo and Juliet themselves. Shakespeare suggests that even positive intentions can become destructive when they override open communication or honesty. The friar's secrecy, meant to protect the lovers, becomes the mechanism through which tragedy unfolds. Friar Lawrence's actions interact with one of the play's central themes, the tension between destiny and human decision-making. While the prologue describes Romeo and Juliet as star-crossed, the friar's choices play a crucial role in creating the conditions for tragedy. Shakespeare presents a complex vision of fate, suggesting that it is not a supernatural force alone but rather a web of human decisions, misjudgments, and omissions. The friar, with his elaborate plans and fatal errors, becomes a key agent through which fate expresses itself. As a member of the Church, Friar Laurence functions within the framework of social order and morality. His role in facilitating a secret marriage subverts the expectations of family and society, raising questions about the stability of social institutions. Shakespeare uses the friar to critique the fragility of systems meant to maintain peace. Despite his moral authority, he cannot influence the behavior of the feuding families or prevent the escalation of violence. His failure reflects the broader instability of Verona's social structure and the inability of its institutions to protect the innocent. Conclusion. Friar Laurence is one of Shakespeare's most layered and morally complex characters. Through Friar Laurence, Shakespeare examines the broader themes of fate, responsibility, social order, and the ethics of intervention. His character stands as a reminder that even the wisest among us are vulnerable to misjudgment, and that the consequences of human error can be profound.